Hello everyone, greetings from the Costa del Sol. This is Santiago Realtor, and today, as you can see on the title of this video, we are visiting Martinez Echevarria, the lawyer's firm, one of the most popular we have in Spain. I'm very happy to introduce you Rafael, close friend, and he's the director of the local office. Rafa, can you tell us what are we going to speak about today?
Well, thank you so much, Santiago. Hi everyone, welcome for this podcast. And yeah, we are gonna literally enter into the room and speak about all information that I hope and I would like is very interesting for you.
I don't know about that, if everybody will be super interesting about the information, but today, to be honest, Rafa, it's a bit rainy, there's no sea views, anything else to shoot, so we decided to come to the
I think it's a good idea. Let's do that.
To be fair, in this video you're going to see, guys, please stay tuned. We are going to speak about the very controversial topics we have on the Costa del Sol. Plenty of people were complaining and asking me about the situation with, first of all, are they going to remove the golden visa? Second of all, what's about the squatters in Spain? And the third reason we're here today, Rafa, is to ask about the short-term rentals. What's the actual situation for the short-term rentals in Spain? And we are going to speak about it straight away. Okay, so we are the first person to introduce. We have Victoria from Martinez Echevarria. I understand, Victoria, you are international, immigration lawyer in Martinez Echevarria, is that
yes.
right?
Thank you. Nice to be here with you. So I'm Victoria Laranigui. I'm a lawyer working in Martinez Echevarria since 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I specialized in real estate, but also immigration law. So we help clients to obtain their residence permit in order to be here in Spain as a resident and more than 183 days per year.
Awesome. So I have a couple of questions, Victoria. The immigrants, the people who I work with, my clients, are looking to, some of them apply for the golden visa, or at least they are considering the golden visa, but everybody's asking me, is that true that Pedro Sanchez are going to remove the golden visa? Is that right? What do you think, what do you know about this? Is it going to be eliminated or not? And when is it going to be eliminated?
Well, we don't know exactly if it is going mainly to be eliminated, revoked, because there were 3 different projects of law to be voted, and any of them were approved. Exactly. So
who needs to approve this? Is it the Congress, the
Yes,
Senate?
it's the Congress.
So,
and of these 3 different projects, any of them received the minimum votes in order to the law to be changed. So nowadays we have still enforced this permit, and we are applying for clients.
So I had a client that he just called me 2 weeks ago, super happy that he got his golden visa, that he applied in the summertime. So it's a process that doesn't take that long, and they're still going at the moment.
Exactly.
But my main concern is, is this Congress the same Congress next year? Do you think, what's the practical, I know that you're always into the law, but what's the practical conclusion? Do you see they are going to eliminate it in some point or not?
Not at short term. This is what we can see.
That for sure. But is the Congress will be the same people next year?
Well, I'm not certain when it's going to be the next vote here in Spain. But when the Congress changes, so maybe the people.
We still have another 3 years of Pedro Sanchez.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes, and it doesn't seem that it's going to change.
The government is going to remain the same for the last 3 years. So the way I see it, if was not approved, and they tried 3 times, and was not approved by the Congress any of these times, I don't see any way that they could eliminate the golden visa.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So another question that I have is is this derogation have a retroactive way somehow? Is there any legal way that they could remove the golden visa for the people who actually have it right now?
It is not legal to take rights already granted by the government. So we do believe that the holder of a residence permit will be able to keep the permit. What we don't know is if if finally golden visa is not available anymore, if the holders of residence permit will be able to keep the same permit, or there will be like a new permit for them, for the ones having.
Understood.
Yeah.
And so it's not even decided yet.
No.
How many people have took this golden visa in Spain? I don't think there are so much of this investors visa.
Well, many people from third countries took benefit of this residence permit, but in terms of generally terms, so many other residents obtain the residence permit for other ways. So not everyone have the funds to invest
the golden
in a
visa
property.
is one of the more expensive.
Exactly.
Obviously it's the most expensive way to get a Spanish visa, and there are a lot of other ways to get the visa.
Exactly.
So my question is, I don't think there are that many people in general who apply for this golden visa.
If you take in account all the residence permit granted in Spain, so golden visa may be less than 5%.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. The next question I have: why is this wanted to be deleted in first place? If it's not that many people applying for it, it's only 5%, and actually this kind of the government takes taxes out of this. Why is there this intention of removing it in first place?
Well, we believe that the reason why or behind this proposal is to try to regulate the housing problem in Spain, because the prices have increased and there is not many properties available for rental and for local people.
But that's another reason to keep the golden visa, because in my opinion, to be honest, my only client who applied for it, he was thinking about buying something 300-400, which is more or less in the budget for Spanish families, but he decided to jump to 500, which is out of the budget for 99% of Spanish families.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, the way I see it, if that golden visa didn't exist, he would probably took a house from a Spanish family.
Yes.
So I think that this government, like most of the times, they're trying to fix things, but they do it so badly that they ended up making it worse.
Yes.
Sounds like so it's hard, but it's actually true. So the intention of removing is from the government, but the Congress is blocking it because they are saying basically, you have no idea what you're doing. This is just wrong. No, right? So is there any other ways to acquire residency in Spain?
Yes, there are many other ways to acquire a residence permit. One of them is the resident called non-lucrative.
The non-lucrative visa for the retired.
For retired people or people not performing any kind of work in Spain.
I see.
The good part of it is that it's a quite easy residence permit to get granted, but the disadvantage of it is for people in age of working, so it's not suitable for them because they are not allowed to work not in Spain and not abroad either.
I see.
But there are other residence permit very popular nowadays. One of them is the digital nomad.
The digital nomad, yes, but for that one, I heard that they need to have a university degree. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. A university degree or at least experience in your field.
I see. Well, as you can see, there are plenty of ways to acquire a residence or a visa in Spain, even if they would remove the golden visa, which doesn't seem to be like on the way or any way that happens. There are many other ways to acquire the golden visa. In Martinez Echevarria, they are happy to take and to help people to acquire the Spanish residence. And realistically speaking, like practically, what's your professional opinion, Victoria? Is this ever going to happen, that to remove the golden visas in some point?
Maybe years in the future. I don't see that it is going to be removed in a matter of months.
But what about, I'm working with someone at the moment that could considering like getting the asset, because there's something about the golden visa is like if you reserve something on the construction that will be ready in 2026,
that's right,
you cannot apply for the golden visa until you get the keys, until you have the assets, right? So do you think by 2026 we'll still have golden visa?
Not sure. I cannot be sure that
but if you have to bet, let's put it this way, you have like 100 euros and you wanted to put it at like yes, or you put it in a no?
Well, I would say we will have golden visa in 2026.
Yes.
That would be my
Yes, Victoria was the bet. We will have got the visa in 2026.
my guess. Anyway, what we advise our clients that are planning to invest in properties in order to obtain the permit to focus in existing properties, resales, not
Right.
in new developments. To
Good
secure,
advice. That's a good
the
advice.
investment and
Yeah, something is ready. We can go straight
exactly.
to find something. You give you the keys.
Yeah.
You can complete the operation within a month, and by January you are 100% safe.
Yeah, in
If
a matter of
it's an
months.
important matter for you to get the golden visa, it's better to
Yeah.
go for a reason. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Victoria.
Thank
It was
you.
a real pleasure to meet
Thank
you
you,
and to get to
likewise.
know you, and see you in the next time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye. That was good. And our next lawyer of this video is Mr. Jaime. Nice to meet you, Jaime.
Nice to meet you.
The reason I'm here today is for answering a couple of questions that the clients are very interested about, and the second one we are going to talk about is about the squatters. Okay, I know it's like hard to understand from someone from abroad this very specific law we have in Spain, and I know as well that the Spanish law protects the tenants over the owners. How is this exactly? Can you give us a little bit of an introduction about the whole squatter thing?
Okay, well, I wouldn't say that the Spanish law protects the tenant over the squatter, the tenant over the landlord, in any way different than any other country or environment in the country in the European Union. This whole debate arises from the constitutional protection of the right to the domicile, and this is established in the European Convention of Human Rights. So it's more or less equivalent all throughout Europe. These kind of protections you will find in Germany, you will find in France, and you will find in Italy or any other country.
But the protection is, you mean the housing protection,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
The government have the duty to make sure that everybody has a home, and I understand this. It's a kind of a right.
Well, there's not a duty. The government has the duty to protect the sphere of privacy that the domicile is, and cannot intrude inside the domicile, regardless of who the property is, the domicile itself, without a judicial order or the consent of the person living in a particular place.
Understood. But why, if I have my own apartment, for example, why do I have to? Why is it me, the person who needs to provide with this help to the others, when the others, when the government should be the one who take care of it? You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, it's not a question of help. It's a question that there's a person inside the space, and this person inside the space has constituted that space as their domicile. And
you just show up and this house, this is mine, like in Alaska,
well,
right? You just come, this is my
There
place.
are many reasons why a particular person can be inside a particular space. They can be a tenancy agreement.
Yes.
They can be actual property. It can be your father that is the owner and allows you to live in it. Or you may have just kicked the door and gone inside. So these kind of circumstances will have to be determined before government interferes and kicks someone out of a domicile. So a procedure must be followed in order to determine why is this person here and what title does this person to be here.
The procedure is very slow, I must say. It could take 1-2 years to kick someone who squatted in your house. That is the first problem, but that's nothing to do with the law itself. So my first question is, we could be debating about this the whole day, but I have a couple of questions to go through. First of all, how often is this problem in Costa del Sol? How many squatters we have in Costa del Sol compared to other locations like Madrid or Barcelona?
Well, statistics are not very clear. We are not provided a statistic of squatters.
Okay.
I've actually looked up some statistics, some numbers, and we don't have them by province or by region as Costa del Sol. So I cannot give you Costa del Sol. I can give you Andalusia compared to Madrid or Barcelona. And I would say it's kind of similar to Madrid and much less than Barcelona. In Andalusia last year, around 2,500 court cases were resolved by a judge on breach of tenancy agreements, and it was resolved that the tenant had to pay. And over that, around 2,500.
To how 2,500 in all over Andalusia?
In all of Andalusia.
It's not much, to be
It's not
honest.
much, it's not much.
But
actually.
this is when we drop down in Costa del Sol. Which regions within Andalusia? Is it Malaga that? Because I don't feel.
Probably Malaga and Seville in whole numbers would be the
And where
concentration.
in the Costa del Sol this is more common?
And I was referring to the breach of tenancy agreement.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know what you mean. So it's like in que ocupas, for the people to understand. In que ocupas.
People that have not paid their rent in time.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's set the things practically, okay? If I have, for people, in my channel we work with people from most of the time from abroad. So for them it's very hard to understand how can, if I am the owner of this apartment and I have this person who stopped paying me the rent for years, I can't kick him out.
But you can.
Yes, you can.
That's
but
a
why it
misconception.
could take that long?
Well, I mean, like all public services, we need more funding in justice. So pay more taxes and more courts in all throughout.
So
but another statistic that is actually quite interesting is that on actual ocupas, there are at least the statistic so only 500 resolutions for all of Andalusia have been established in a criminal court in 2023 for people taking someone else's property without consent. Only 500.
I understand. It's okay.
So what I mean is that the phenomenon is less than it could.
It's very little. With. I work on real estate on Costa del Sol. I have plenty of clients and several. It happens to me only once with a client that she had an issue. She actually wanted to sell the apartment, but the buyer made an offer of the rental with the option to buy. So he actually was renting out the apartment and then stopped paying. Was a big breach in the agreement, and to be honest, in my opinion, I don't recommend the long-term rentals in general because this can drag you into this in que ocupa situation.
Well, I mean, the same can happen with a short-term rental.
Yeah, but well, the people are not that keen to rent short-term to stay in the house. What do you think is gonna happen? How is this solving in practically this kind of cases? So I have someone in my house that's not willing to leave. How can I practically solve this issue and get my house back?
Well, I mean, we would have to analyze the case and see why is this person inside the property. As I was saying before, it's a different procedure and it's a different situation. If you have a rental agreement that is not being paid, person that has kicked the door, or somebody that you actually let to stay in your property and you want to get it back. We have 3 different procedures for each of these cases. I would say if the owner has noticed so if you catch it on as it's happening, it is quite easy to recover your property.
You just call the police and the person, you kick them out and that's it. Get out of my house. And that's
exactly.
It.
Or
they kick him our way and that's it.
Within 1 year, you have a fast-track procedure that was introduced a couple of years ago. So if the person has been staying in the property less than 1 year, you can use that speedy procedure of the recovery of the possession.
In a year.
Yeah, you have to present the claim within a year.
Why cannot do it in less than that? Why is not this ocupa cannot be kicked out of the house?
No, what I'm saying is that if the ocupa has been less than 1 year in your property, you can use a fast-track procedure.
Fast-track procedure, what does that exactly mean?
It's a procedure that is faster than normal.
So it's like a quick decision of a judge?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Juicio rápido? ¿Funciona con juicio rápido? Because it's not criminal.
No, it's not criminal, exactly. It's it used to be called interdicto before, like in the old times, and now it's juicio posesorio.
Juicio posesorio.
Yes.
It's a very difficult topic. Thank you, Jaime. I put you a bit against the wall here. But to be honest, how can we help my clients? What message, which advice you give to people not to get involved in any situation related to squatters? What can they do to protect themselves about these people?
Well, if you're renting your property, background checks, nominas, and of course, gain your insurance for the non-pay of rental.
So it's an insurance anti-ocupa?
Well, it's an insurance.
Anti-squatters insurance?
For the non-payment of rent.
Okay, but not...
Some house insurance actually offer insurance anti-squatters. So if you have a second home, they can offer you legal assistance and even pay you a compensation if your property gets occupied. And if your property is a second property, you're not residing there, well, of course, get an alarm, a good alarm.
All right, that's helpful.
So you can keep in touch. And as soon as one of these things happen, get in touch with the police and get in touch with a lawyer.
That's good to know. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Hope that I managed to answer very big, complicated topic, but I think it's a good advice. Do you think that renting short term is better than renting long term?
Well, it's more profitable.
As well. So it's better because of the profitable, no doubt. But because if you are afraid of someone which is afraid of the squatters or is afraid of not being involved in this situation, which is not that common in Malaga, I must say. This is a bit more high class kind of location, Marbella in general. You don't deal that much with this situation like in Barcelona or Madrid. But do you think this person willing to rent, is it better to rent short term or long term? What is the chances that this squatters happens more often?
Well, I mean, statistically, it happens more often on long-term rentals, but actually, when you're doing long-term, if you do things properly, you're probably getting more guarantees because you will do your proper background checks. Whereas when you're renting short-term rentals, especially if you're doing it through a platform, you're not doing any checks. You don't know who you're getting into your property.
That's true.
So in reality, if a person wants to stay in your property, it is actually easier, even though it happens less, through short-term rentals. It can happen to anyone.
That's actually true, but in case it happens, it's better to react quickly, to have an alarm on your property and contact the lawyer that can help you with that.
Contact the lawyer, always.
Thank you, Jaime. Very nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Bye then.
Likewise.
So we are today with Victor. Hi, Victor from Martinez Echevarria. He's an expert of short-term rentals here on the lawyers. And Victor, the reason we are visiting today is because I am very aware about the situation with the short-term rentals. There is some kind of a new law that everybody is talking about related to the short-term rentals on the Costa del Sol, the Airbnb apartments, for the ones who are not very familiar. Is there new regulations in Malaga related to this, or what's the information you have inside?
Hello, Santiago. Thank you for the welcome. I want to explain to all your clients and people who is hearing you. There is a big issue with some townhalls because the new decree or the new regulation is giving the power to some townhalls to put some extra limitation or rules in their areas. And Malaga is one of them. So regarding the new regulation, the most important point that are affecting the short-term rentals are, for example, the new requirements of habitability, also the number of places that a property should have. So now it's not anymore related with the number of beds, it's related with the number of the square meters of the property in the catastro. So it's 14 square meters per person. So if you're so it is
40 square meters.
14 square meters per person.
So, but
and with a minimum surface of 25 square meters. So any property that is less than that surface is not able to be rented for short term.
But that's absolutely logical. That's obvious, right? It's like So we're saying that they took the old regulation,
Yeah.
did some changes,
Yeah.
and they added a couple of regulations related to the size. But 14 square meters per person, to be honest, is most of the apartments in Costa del Sol have like 100 square meters,
Yeah,
and they allocate regularly 4 people, so that's
this
not a
is
problem at all.
more focused on the center of the cities, as Malaga, for example, where there is some small studios that maybe there are 50 square meters or something like that, and they say that they can be rented to 10 people or something like
I
that.
see,
So
yeah, but that's not allowed.
exactly, and it's important
That's good. That's good in that way.
that this change is related and is affecting all the license that has been applied during all the system of the short-term rental. So it's not affecting just to the rentals or license that has been applied after February 2024, are affecting also all the license that
The
has been
previous
applied.
one.
Exactly,
Understood.
all the previous license has to be adapted to the new situation.
Understood. Okay, so
The second point that could be important for this is related with the period of the year that you are going to rent the property. So in the past, you can apply for the license and you can say, okay, I have the license and I will use when I wish. But now it's not like this anymore. So you need to say what period of the year you are going to put the property for short term. So if you say that you are going to rent from August to September, so you are not able to publish or rent the property out of that period of time.
and they have to say that from the moment they apply for
Exactly.
a touristic license
Exactly.
to the town hall.
So
So
not to the tourist registry.
to the tourist registry, that it's part of the.
So the tourist registry is the administration that is providing the tourist rentals, the tourist license.
And where is this administration?
It's, now all the process is made electronically, so all the licenses are applied electronically.
But where does that go? Did that go to Seville in Andalus, La Junta Andalucía?
The main office of the tourist registry is supposed to be in Seville, but each province has its own department.
Question: does the town hall have the authority to remove my touristic license? Because if I have, seems to be like 99% of the normal touristic Airbnb apartments, like my clients basically, which are from abroad, they buy decent properties, big sizes, and they don't overbook their own apartments because this is also probably most of the time they use themselves. Is the town hall going to remove the touristic license?
That question is very important nowadays because, as I explained to you before, the new regulation gives powers to the town halls to put some extra limitation or regulation in the area that they consider that they are collapse of tourist rental.
Okay.
In that way, the Malaga town hall and the Fuengirola town hall, they have put an extra rule saying that all the properties that are going to be rented, they need to have an independent entrance. So it is not possible to rent anymore as second floor, third floor. This is affecting all the license that has been applied after the February 2024, 22nd of February 2024. For the previous license, this extra limitation is not affecting this,
the previous one.
The previous
But let's put it this way. I mean, a property that doesn't have an independent entrance is a villa, realistically speaking, because or a ground floor apartment, like you said. But that's pretty much all the properties. So if someone who lives in the first floor is willing to apply, I had a client this week who he did the online appliance and he got the touristic license and he's in the middle floor. So
that so it's depending on the municipality in the code. So as I told you, this is now just in Malaga and Fuengirola. Other town halls are thinking to start or try to include other
Fuengirola. This happened in
other
Fuengirola.
kind
It was a client who applied for a touristic license in Fuengirola and he got the touristic license and it's a middle floor. It's not an independent entrance. So I don't see, to be honest, any practical use of this new thing. What is really happening practically?
This is because they consider that some areas and some municipalities, they are collapsed and there is no enough properties for the local population. And they try to limit and to avoid that more licenses are applied in the municipality. So the only way that they have to make it is include this kind of limitation or regulation. So,
So this, to be honest, from my perspective, hearing you, I know that you know perfectly the law and the strict rules and that. But from my perspective, what I see is like right now the town hall has like the tool to do it, but doesn't mean that they will remove it. Is that right?
In this case, for example, in Malaga, the Malaga Town Hall has requested to the tourist registry the cancellation of close to 1,600 licenses.
In the Malaga, in the urban sky?
No, that is just around 170, 180, but in all the municipalities,
city, yes.
they have requested the cancellation of 1,600 licenses.
What was the other location where they canceled the touristic licenses?
Fuengirola.
In Fuengirola and Malaga. So these are very dense locations and full of Spanish population, right? This gives me as well that areas, for example, which are more like a gold resort.
Yeah.
Do you think this will ever happen? They have the tool, doesn't mean
exactly. So they have the tool to make it, but it doesn't mean that they are going to make it, or maybe they try to find another way to.
Giving the politicians more power. Who decided that? The politicians, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's a good thing. What means the vote 3 out of 5 of the owners, and in which areas being applied? We discussed.
So this is not a local rule. This is a Spanish law. So this is related with the Ley de Propiedad Horizontal. That they say that any community in Spain, they have the possibility to put limitation or to ban, prohibit, or put limitations to the short-term rentals if they have this kind of majority.
Is that something that they can apply to previous touristic licenses?
No, so this is
only the super powerful politicians that they have the ones with the superpower.
It's important to understand that this the limitation for the independent entrance is just affecting for the license that has been applied from the February 2024,
okay.
not previous one. But regarding the prohibition of the community of foreigners, is affecting just the license that are going to be applied after the votation. So all the license that has been applied before the votation are not going to be affected by this kind of prohibition.
Understood. Where do you recommend for investors from abroad or someone which is willing to buy a holiday home in Costa del Sol? So, right, so they're willing to rent when they're not here, short term, and then they're willing to come to use their apartment whenever they want. Which locations are ideal?
This is a question that is very difficult to answer because it's just depend on what you wish to, or what are you looking for. So you're looking for a villa that can be rented for short term. In most of the municipalities, you are going to find it.
You are fine.
But as I explained you, you need to focus and to check every property, but not just regarding with the municipality. Before to continue with the purchase process, you will need to check also with the community of owners if the votation has been prohibited.
Understood. That's for sure. But there are certain locations, I know this by first hand, because there are certain locations which are more international, where are more people in the same situation which don't live there. So is it mainly the residential, local Spanish areas, the one with this problem? That's my question. Where is that could happen more often?
All locations have the possibility to receive a ban or a limitation from the town.
If the owners itself decided, the 3 out of 5.
But
okay.
apart of that, you need to understand that, for example, everybody was thinking that, for example, in municipalities as Manilva, they are not going to have any kind of limitation. And now we have heard that the town hall wants to make a big questions to the population in order to know if they want to have some limitations in the municipality. So, in my point of view, no municipality is safe.
But I'm not saying municipalities, because in every municipality there are more dense areas than others. Every single municipality, Mijas have Fuengirola, it's super dense, and then you go to Campo Mijas or Mijas Golf, which is not dense. So in general, let's put it this way, if I give you an apartment that you're willing to rent short-term rental, where would you put it? That's your opinion is important.
In this moment, not to put it in Malaga or Fuengirola and try to find a location that, as you
Malaga
say,
City.
Malaga City. And Fuengirola, because the limitations are increasing, I have not mentioned before, but now at the beginning of November, the Malaga Town Hall is going to approve another change in the regulation that is going to put
Malaga is a big thing.
more limitations in some areas of Malaga.
That's good.
But for example, as you say, more municipalities that they have more international population.
Okay, what's the practical application of this law? To be honest, if they, I see where they're going, right? They try to remove all these short-term rentals in order to the people have more houses to live and try to boost the long-term rental maybe.
Exactly.
But we have a problem with the long-term rentals. The situation is like there is no security for the homeowners to rent it long term. The law don't protect the owners; they protect the tenants and the inquiocupas.
Okay.
So, and now they are trying to close the way for the short-term rentals. How is that going to end it up?
The point in this question is not how the short-term rentals can be adapted to the new situation that we are living. Is what regulation is going to be changed in order to give more benefits and profits and more security to the owners that they want to rent it for long term. Because as I explained before, some owners, they don't have the possibility to rent it for short term because the community has banned the short-term rentals or the municipality has included some limitation, and the only way that they have to rent it for long term to rent it is for long term. But we discovered that you say that there is some insecurity in the law that can make that the owner is going to have trouble, and they decide to don't put the property on long-term rental.
They just lock it down and don't rent it.
So in this case, we have the problem that the property is not rented for short-term and is not giving a benefit to the owner and to the administration, because at the end, if you rent it for short-term, you are paying taxes and you are giving money to, and also you are making profits for the society, so everything. And as part of that, they don't decide to rent it for long-term because they have some trouble and they are afraid that an occupa can enter in the property. So in this case, we have the situation that the property is empty, nobody is living there, the property is not in the market, and we have the same situation. So in my point of view, the situation has to be changed in the way of the long-term rental. Is because the reason that there is no property in the market is not the short term.
It's not because of the short term. What would be your advice, Jaime, to someone who wants to buy a holiday home in Spain?
So my suggestion is...
You're probably sure you have clients in this situation as well, because Martinez Echevarria, what's your advice for that?
My advice is try to focus on the property that you wish to buy. Check with your lawyer if that region of the coast has some kind of limitation, and request if this property can be affected by any kind of prohibition by the community of owners. So if you are hiring the service of a law firm as us that have several clients in the coast and they have the custom to know about every residential complex in the coast, at the first meeting that we have, and if you tell us the property that you are trying to buy and the residential complex where it is located, we will be able to tell you at the moment if we know if there is any limitation or restriction that can avoid you the possibility to rent it for short term.
That's a very good idea. Contact the lawyer, you heard him. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there. And gracias, Jaime. Okay, that's it for today. I hope I managed to answer all your questions and we get into these very complicated topics, as you can see. But if you have any questions related to the squatters, to the golden visa, or to the short-term rental, feel free to contact me here in the description below, and we can book an online meeting so I can answer your questions. Then, have to see you in the next video. Bye.